Alrighty. Okay, I think we're on. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jen and Ruthie from UsePLR.com, and today we're going to take you through how we use kind of simple systems to organize our digital files and our PLR and all of that kind of stuff. So I think I'm going to start, and I'm going to start by showing you how I use a couple of things inside Trello, and then how I organize my Google Drive, which is where I create and store most of my stuff. So let me turn on my screen sharing. And Ruthie, if you think of questions along the way, feel free to like shout them out, because I don't know if we'll have anybody show up, but people might have questions. So
okay,
if you think of anything, just ask. We'll see. Okay. All right, so do you see my Google Drive?
I do.
Okay, very good. Okay, so for anybody who's not familiar, this is Google Drive. Google Drive is an online storage facility for all kinds of digital stuff. Plus, you have access to their tools like Google Slides and Sheets, which are alternatives for Microsoft Office products like PowerPoint and what's the spreadsheet thing called?
Excel.
Excel. Thank you. Yeah, I knew what I meant. I just didn't think of it. So, so basically, what you're looking at is just my when I log into Google Drive in this particular account. This is what I see. So these are all folders, and like if you look over here, you can see this one is the name of one of my businesses, and then right below it is UsePLR. And so what I do is when I am creating something new for, let's just go in here to Planning Addicts. These are all my, all of the folders are all of my products that I have out for sale somewhere. Or there's a couple of things like this is, it was a folder with a whole bunch of files from something that I bought. It's not actually one of my products, but I needed a folder to keep it separate. Otherwise it would have just been a mess in here. But I had bought it to use for Planning Addicts, and then I haven't done much with it. So I probably ought to move it somewhere else. But so, and they're alphabetized, which is kind of nice. But then you can even have more subfolders from there. So for instance, I run 3 different memberships as part of Planning Addicts. And if I click on that folder, then you can come in here and see that there's a folder for, that sounded expensive. There's a folder for my planner monthly, and then for my journal monthly. And then these are actually, one of these is for like a couple of years ago, all of the files for that. And then this is for 2021 content. So if I dig down into those, we'll just show you real quick. So my digital monthly cover kits, I already have most of them roughly made up, and I just have a folder for each one of those. So it niches all the way down. Let me take you guys back through that. So if we go back to the main folder, which is for my entire Planning Addicts library, I'm going to come down here to monthly memberships. And if I want to go see what all I have ready or that I'm working on for the digital monthly club, I just click on that. And then from there, I have all of my kits in here. And so we've already released this one, so I'll open it up. And you can see you can just have folders inside of folders inside of folders inside of folders. But for me, it works because it's visual. So like when I come in here, I'm not trying to sort through a list of things, although you can have a list view. I don't know that that works so great for like photo things, but up here in the corner, you can click on this and it gives you a list of all of your things. sometimes I toggle back and forth, especially like in my written PLR that I use, because it's easier to see like a title for an article or something when I go this way. But visually I can see, okay, I have 10 covers already made, and then I've got my README file already uploaded. My dog would decide to like die on the floor in the middle of training. Sorry if you guys heard that. So the other really cool thing is, in Google Drive anyway, you can come up here and you can do this from a couple of different spots, but let's say I want to download this entire zip folder, or I want to download everything that's in this particular folder. I can do that and it will automatically create a zipped file. So if I just come up here into the breadcrumbs, I can right click and come down here to download. And then down here in the corner, you can show that, or you can see that it's zipping up a file, and then it downloads to my computer. And if I go open that up, then it's got all of these files already zipped up in it, which is pretty cool. And I can rename it and all of that kind of stuff. So when it comes to organizing the PLR that I buy, I don't have a perfect system, but I have one that's working for me so far. And that setup uses Trello and my my Google Drive. So let's go back out here to Google Drive. In the past, I have done, in one of my other accounts, I have done where I just made a folder for, I did it a couple of different ways. Made a folder for my specific sites. So like I used to run a couple of different blogs, and for blog number 1, I would have a folder that said blog number 1. And then I would just upload whatever I bought and was going to use in there. And then I have also done it where I've made folders for where I bought the products from. So if I bought packages from Piggy Makes Bank, I would just upload everything that I bought from them into that folder. Because I thought maybe it would make it easier to sort through it. But I found that I would put them in there and then not use them. So what I have started doing is this. I'm going to take you over to Trello. So this is my Trello account, my main one. And I have things divided into like teams is what they call it, I think, so that I can separate my boards into categories. So you can see all of my boards that relate to like planning addicts are there. And then I've got stuff for me and Ruthie and UsePLR down here. And then these are some that I have bought. And this is actually the one that I just developed from the planner that we released today. And I probably am going to make a different, like a separate team to put all of the ones that we made for UsePLR into it. Because you're obviously up here, you can see that you're like limited on the free account to how many you can have per team. So anyway, so what I do is when I buy something, like I have quite a few things that I bought in the last year from like Warrior Plus, but I bought them for a couple of different reasons. So I developed a board where I just like, it's stuff I bought to use for different business reasons. So if I open that up, you can see I've got one for planning addicts. I've got one for my passion project site, which I've kind of given up on for right now. Those are, this actually needs to get moved. This particular list is a list of all my costs. So have fun looking at that. And then I've got content for UsePLR, and then for Etsy, if I ever go back to putting stuff on Etsy. So what I do is when I buy something, like for instance from Warrior Plus, I make a new card in this list, and then if I am going to use that particular product for UsePLR, I put it in this list. And if I'm going to use it on Planning Addicts, then I will put it on this list. And just this morning, as I was going through one of the mastermind groups that I'm in, it occurred to me that some of the things that are over here would be really great to launch on UsePLR. So I just, whichever ones I thought would be good, I just grabbed it and moved it into this list. This way, like I can come in here and I can check and go, okay, well, what were some of the ideas for the next thing to develop? Or I remember buying something, but I don't remember what it was. This is kind of a quick, easy way for me to jog my memory. And then from here, once I know what it is that I want to do, whichever one that I want to start with. Give me a second. Okay, so like when I click it to open it, I know that this one came from Alice Seba, and her Happy Dog Island branding, whatever that was. So I can go find it again. That's maybe not the best example. Okay, so this is from Tiffany Lambert, and when she launched it on Warrior Plus. So obviously I can go to my Warrior Plus account and find it, and I've already uploaded some of the files for it. So I know exactly where to go and how to grab it, all of that. But then when I'm ready to start developing that, let's go with this one. I would download this if it's not already, just download it. I'd come over here to my Google Drive and I would open up my UsePLR group. And oh, look at our pretty faces, Ruth. And then I would make a new folder for whatever this is called. Research for newbies. Okay, and then I would just pull that file up in there and drop it. Or for those who aren't familiar, you could open up your file, come over here to new, and then click on file upload, and you can get there the same way. So you would just grab it there. Now I'm going to have it twice. So, and then from here, I can actually unzip this from directly in here. I don't have to unzip it on the on my computer. There's some built-in extensions, or you can add extensions too. That's one of the cool things about the Google Suite is you can add add-ons or apps or whatever you would call them, plugins. And then when it's done, it tells you, but you can jump out of that and you can see it's unzipped. And so you just keep clicking until everything opens up, and then so this is a Word file, but if I click on it to open it, it opens it in the Google version of that, which is called Docs. And then I can edit it, I can copy it, I can do all kinds of stuff from there. And so what I would do to develop my piece of PLR is just work on it right here. It's all stored in this folder. I know exactly which business it's going to be used for. And then if I'm not sure where I used something before, I can always go back to my Trello board and see that I used it, in this business or in this business or whatever. So that's kind of my organization for right now. It's changed, several times over the years. So, and it probably will continue to change as I learn new things or my projects shift over time. Of course, things need to evolve and keep changing to work better. So I actually had somebody say something about that a while back about how they'd been following me and seen how kind of how I have shifted my business over time. And I'm like, well, yeah, you should continue to grow and learn and shift and make things work for you as well as for your customer base. So those are just my thoughts. Ruthie, did you have any questions?
Not questions so much. I didn't know you could do all that stuff in Google Drive. I've never
Oh,
really used it
yes.
for anything.
Google
I,
Drive is amazing.
I might have to do that. And I'm absolutely stealing your Trello board.
Okay, yeah,
It's
yeah.
which you will see when I start to show you why my organization system, why I need your Trello board.
Okay, okay. Well, and for that matter, I can even show some more about some of the different ways that I have set up Trello boards. For instance, like I said, I'm going to move this particular one, my expenses, out of this particular board. And in fact, I'm going to do that right now because this is kind of cool and not everybody realizes you can do this in Trello. I think you're aware of it, but I know a lot of people aren't super familiar with it. So I can copy my list and that just makes a copy of it onto this board. But I can also move the whole thing. Let me think. I have talking and doing at the same time are not always easy. So I can move my list, which is what this is, to another board. So I have boards up here and you can see like the bolded ones are the actual like teams or the organized areas that I have. So I'm going to move that. Oh, I think I'm out of room up there. Maybe that's why. Oh, okay. I'm going to move it down to my business dashboard. Yeah, I think I'll move it there. I didn't think too much about where I wanted to move it, but I will. It may get moved again. So when I click move, it's going to take this particular list from this board and put it into the business dashboard that I already have set up. And it's going to put it in the first position, which is like all the way over here. So let me do that. I'm going to click move. Now see, it's gone from here. And if I go back to my board view, looks like it's taken a minute. Okay, then if I come down here to, I'm gonna laugh if I lost it in the middle of all of this. Oh, my business dashboard. Oh, this isn't even a board that I use. I put it in here to help build something else, but you can see that it put it in here. So if you develop a list in one board and then decide that it's better in a different position or a different board, you can totally move that stuff around. And I'm going to have to move that again because that's not the board I was thinking of. So, okay, but that's kind of where I'm at with organizing things. I'm happy to show you more about like the way that I'm using different boards because it's really, when I started using Trello, I was like, oh, I don't get it, you know, it's not making sense. But the more I've used it over the last year, it saves my sanity and my brain so much. I'm managing my team. I'm keeping track of all of the stuff that we're doing together and managing my business using it as well. So
I know since I've started working with you that I use it a lot more than I did before too. In
yeah,
fact, last night when I was starting to put the new products up on the site, and I came in and I got almost panicky because I couldn't find the boards with all the details on them.
Okay, so yeah, you need to make some teams so that it's easier to go find them if you haven't already. So, but yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming. And like I said, I clearly need to clean up some of mine because this is not even a board that I use in particular. So I'm probably not going to remember where that's at. So I'm going to actually put it back real quick. Okay, this must be a shared one that I have not jumped off of because that's not something I recognize. That's funny. Okay, where did I have that?
In the stuff you bought to use.
Thank you. Yes, okay. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm gonna stop sharing. and I will let you share how you do it.
Okay. So I have after seeing Jenn's system, I have a pretty disorganized system, but so far it works for me.
I think that though is the most important thing, is that just because the system works for me right now doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. So you might start with something like the basic groundwork that you or I are using, but then you've got to develop it into what makes sense for your brain and your business.
Yeah, because I'm not nearly as visual a person, and I like lists and text more than I like pictures. So
okay, yeah.
So I will get this open and I will start sharing. Oh, it says I can't share.
Okay, how do I make it so you can share?
You have to make me a co-host, I think.
I just made it so multiple people can share. Is that what I needed to do? Let's share.
Yep, that works.
Okay, good.
Okay, screen one. Yeah, that should work. So can you see my screen there?
I can. I see like your documents or something.
Yeah, that's okay. So I have two folders, one on this drive for written PLR.
Okay.
And one that I just had to move to my other hard drive for low content PLR because this drive got full on the weekend.
Because you're a hoarder?
I am very much a hoarder.
We have a challenge for that.
And one of these days I might actually do it. No, in all
you know
seriousness.
I'm teasing, right? I didn't show my 14 Google Drive accounts that have everything I've like ever bought. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is the list of all the PLR I have bought, and I don't know if I can zoom in on this or not. I don't see a zoom button to make it bigger.
I can see it pretty clearly.
Can you see it pretty clearly?
Yeah.
If you look at the date modifieds, you can see some of them. Let's go down to the end here. Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't show up out here because this just shows the last time I was in the folder.
Okay.
But if I open one like, let's see, Tiffany's, I've been buying from Tiffany for a long time. Oh, that's a new folder too. The thing is, I have like three folders. I have this one, the low content PLR on the E drive. And then I have a portable passport drive that has everything on it from before I got this computer.
Okay.
So if I went into one of those and opened it up, you would see that I have stuff from like Tiffany and PLR.me from like 2008, 2009.
Okay.
It's relevant still. I tend not to buy niche things. I only buy like things that I know I'm going to be able to use over and over again.
Okay.
So what I do is when I buy a package, let's see, Coach Glue, I guess. I'll download it into the list, and then when I never unzip anything until I'm ready to use it.
Okay.
And then once I'm ready to use something, I will open it up like these blog posts. And I'll take whatever I want out of here and move it like into a projects folder. And I have project folders over here for everything. This is everything I've done so far this year, and they're all broken out by year.
Okay.
And then I'll just pile things in. So like this one down here is the February guide for the Access Club.
Gotcha.
So I would have taken all of the articles out of the PLR that we used and copied them all into a new Word document to make like a like an automatic first draft.
Okay.
And then I go back into the PLR, the original PLR. I never take it out of the first folder.
Okay.
But I will mark it somehow, like that one I think came from the Piggy Makes Bank thing, and I used 5 articles out of a set of 30.
Okay.
So I would go through and mark those 5 articles as used in the main document so that I know that I'm not going to take them out and do it somewhere else.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing that I didn't show. So back when I was using folders and I would just upload everything that I bought from somebody, I would do the same thing. After I opened up like a package of articles, if I used them on a blog post somewhere, I would retitle it and just put used at the front of the thing so that all of the used ones showed up at the bottom of the list, of files. So that way it was easier to keep track of.
Yeah, that's what I used to do with the PLR.me stuff, because I wrote a blog with that content for 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I would just like used in the date.
Yeah.
And then the title.
Yeah. So one thing that I didn't cover, but it sounds like you have covered it, is making copies of the originals so that you're not editing the originals.
Yeah, that's really important, because if you edit the original, and the only other way to get around that is to keep all the zip files, which means you have double copies on your hard drive, and it takes up a lot of room.
Right, right.
So
Which
now
is another reason that I like to store stuff in the cloud. And there's drawbacks and benefits to both of those. So like if you lose your computer and you have everything stored on it, you're kind of screwed. But the same thing could be said for storing things online. You could lose access to your account for some reason, and then you don't have access to everything still. So there's it's just kind of what you're more comfortable with, I think.
Yeah, and then you have to be aware too of where you're buying it from.
Yes.
Their download policies, because some people will leave it there forever for you, and other people clean it out every month.
Right. Right. And I know I've heard a few people say that they dislike the fact that that some places get rid of things on a monthly basis or whatever. But I think what a lot of people don't understand is that takes up space, both visually and like storage space for businesses who have to store it. So, before you get cranky about that kind of stuff, maybe put yourself in the business owner's shoes first.
Yeah, I never even thought about it from the storage aspect. I've always heard it explained as so that, like if you're paying a monthly fee for something, that you only get the month that you paid for.
Yeah, that
like
too.
So that new people can't come in and get like the last 3 years worth of content.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of different angles to it. So okay. Well,
Yeah, so that's my system. It's
okay.
Pretty simple, but it works.
It works. It works. And I noticed too that you had some where you noted that there were bonuses you had made for certain things. I have a folder for that too. It's just mine was like up at the top of my grid. Anything that I've made bonuses for, I put it in that bonus folder. I used to try to keep it like separated differently, and I was never able to go back and find what I had made. So I just made one folder and all of the bonuses go in there and they're labeled in there.
Yeah, I actually got that tip from Mel.
Yeah.
She was talking about how she organizes her Dropbox for customer downloads, and she said this is what she does: is whatever the product is, she puts like the category at the front, so all the bonuses are together and all the products are together, and anything that I make like for a bundle sale or a giveaway is under an event tag, so that and it's tagged by the event so that I know exactly what I've made for who.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I have the same kind of thing. It's just a different visual layout kind of, but
yeah,
mine are organized. They say there's a bonus folder, and then inside of that is like Gabby's recent Angels thing. I made Angels planner for Gabby, because I know that she's with UsePLR, not UsePLR, with a cup of Zen. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, it's about what makes sense for your own brain and your system. So, yeah. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to show them?
I can't think of anything
Okay.
unless you
Okay.
can think of something that you want me to show them.
I don't think so. I think that was really just the point of the training, was showing them how we both are using different systems. And no, I think that's it. I do.
Cool.
So it's short and sweet and straight to the point, but just wanted to say thanks to everybody who tunes in. And I'm Jenn Brockman, and this is Ruthie Bowers from UsePLR.com. And I think that's it.
Cool.
All right.
Good deal.
Okay. We'll see you later.
See you later.